Hello, I'm just finishing the underneath of the bowl blank so that I can go on to show you another tool from Ashley Iles. It's the Reg Sherwin Bowl Shear Scraper. I'm Paul Loseby, a woodturner here in Leicester, and please allow me to explain more. This is the tool in question. It's from Ashley Iles. It's a Reg Sherwin shear scraper, primarily intended for bowl shear scraping, ideal for novices because it's shaped like a small Toblerone, which means that the flat sides keep the cutting edge at exactly the right angle. The blade's made of steel, 6 3/4 inches long or 170 millimeters. The handle is 9 inches long, and each of the three faces is about 14 millimeters. It's got a grind angle of 45 degrees, although I haven't had that confirmed yet, and hopefully they'll confirm this on the video as you're watching. It's normally used to cut with a burr, so we need to put a burr on there so that that actually cuts away the wood and leaves a really fine surface. I think what we need to do first is to sharpen the tool, put the burr on, and then you can come around this side and have a look how it works. There are a couple of ways to put a burr on this tool. The first is with an ordinary flat diamond file. You've got the 45-degree grind angle, and the same as you'd put a burr on other tools, just follow the grind, push up, and you've got a burr that's ready to go. The other way, of course, is on the grindstone, and that's the way that Reg Sherwin himself normally grinds the tool. So let's go over to the grinding stone. Right, this way is even quicker and easier than doing it by hand, and it's the way that Reg Sherwin puts the burr on. You've got the flat platform of your grinder, you put your finger underneath for support, and you just give it a couple of swipes. The tool is pointing downwards slightly, and it's the top surface that is facing the platform, so you've got it upside down. Start the grinder, tool down, and there you have it. Right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I've got the tool with its burr on, this time made from the grinding wheel. I've got the bowl fixed on a screw chuck, and I've got the headstock swiveled round so that you can get a better view. I've got the tool rest a little bit higher than the centre line so that the tool is actually pointed down, and this does give a much greater feel of confidence to the newcomer. Make sure that your tool rest is flat and smooth. And right, let's see where we go. Right, I've got the tool up. I'll try to show you the dust in a moment, but all I'm getting is a very fine dust coming around. Let's stop that. That is the dust or shavings that's coming off. I've only done that bit around the side, but there's not an ounce of torn end grain before and after. Like I say, it's not meant as a shaping tool, it's meant purely to give a fine finish on top of the surface that you've already achieved with your gouge. Let's go around a little bit more. Again, very fine shavings coming off. Really is nice. It'll want sanding, just smooth it off, but on that you can probably start at 180 grit, 240 grit. And I don't suppose it shows, but the difference before and after is absolutely amazing. Let me try and zoom in. Yeah, you've got the torn end grain there, and you've got absolutely nothing at all there. And it's like that all the way around. Let's do the last little bit. I think my elbow's going to get in the way now. As you can see, I've turned the headstock round so that you can see this last bit. And there you've got a nice finish on the bottom there. It really is easy to use because of this flat surface. And yes, it would make it a lot easier for novice bolt turners. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to reverse the piece in the chuck, take the inside out, and then we'll use the same tool on the inside of the bowl. Right, I've reversed the piece and put it in the the chuck with a larger jaws. It's held there. I'm going to turn the centre out, and so that we can use the bowl gouge again. The video is intended as an introduction to the tool, so I won't film while I'm hollowing the piece out. I'll come back to you when it's ready. Just at this point, if you're going to use, if you've not got a reasonable finish and you're going to use your shear scraper, you can't really go too thin on it, because otherwise, particularly if it's wet wood, it's going to move. So you're not going to get the finish that you want. You're going to get a bouncy, jumpy finish. But if you're going to leave it fairly thick, this is about 3/8 of an inch thick, then you can get away with it. But I can see that you can't see me doing that from there, so let me turn the headrest around again. Now, I know Reg Sherwin likes to keep his at 25 degrees, the burr, but I've just done mine following the grind, which is 45 degrees, and we'll see where we go from there. I think my hand is going to be in the way. That is absolutely perfect. That's lovely. Let me take out the middle of the bowl. you will probably have noticed that when I was turning the centre out down here, I'd actually got the tool away from her body. I don't like doing that, but it's just that with having the headstock facing that way, I can't get close enough without blocking the camera. Under normal circumstances, I would have the tool handle tucked into my turning muscle. Just use my calipers to check the thickness. Fingers are your best calipers, and yes, that's fine. But it is rough in the centre. So, time to use the shear scraper. Right, I've turned the inside of the bowl out. You can still see a few tool marks on there. So we come to the shear scraper. Now, because it's triangular, it can be used in either direction. The other thing is, make sure that you control the tool. So have it tucked into you, rather than if you try to do it with your tool handle out here, you're just going to get a bumpy surface and it's not going to work. So tuck it into your stomach. Pulling it along and really fine shavings are coming off. I'm going to go over it again because there's a little mark there still. And right the other way. It's coming up just tiny little shaving, getting towards the centre. And she's off. Needs sanding, but other than that it's not too bad at all. I have got a little bit of surface work there that wants changing. And that sorted that out, and that's beautiful. Right, we'll give it a sand and then see what it looks like. Right, I'm just finishing hand sanding down to 320 grit. Just to give you an idea. And that finish is beautiful. A little bit of dust on there, but that's great. I've got to reverse chuck it, take the spigot off the back, but otherwise we're done. That's all I can do with the tool, other than when I've taken the spigot off to smooth it then. So there you have it. It's the Reg Sherwin shear scraper, intended for bowls, made by Ashley Iles, and it is absolutely perfect for novices, for new wood turners who are trying to make an impression with their bowls. With this, they're bound to keep the angle right, they can draw the tool along and get a lovely finish. As you get more experienced, you can experiment with other angles, but this is a great starter.